Today. I wanted to talk to you today about BPA. Maybe you never thought of it. I asked my husband, "Do you know what BPA is?" And he said, "No." So a lot of people don't know what it is. But the thing about it is that plastic, and if you do your research, it affects our life. Plastic not only affects our health, but it affects the environment also. If you do a little research, some of it, the plastic even affects our wildlife, our fish, the fish in the sea. A couple times they've opened up some of the fish that are way in the deep ocean and found some whales, the fish, pregnant fish. In the bellies, there's nothing but like plastic. So what I've done is, through this weight loss path, I've tried to open Pandora's box, open up my mind, and research not only about weight loss, the dogma that's associated with some of our mental capacities of how we think and how we were raised, and the information that we have gained throughout our lifetime really may not pertain to what is happening today. So it's always good to learn, research, because we have the availability now. We have the availability of going on PubMed. But I just want to say and caution you that public research, there's always something behind the published research, that who funds the research, that they might be biased one way or another. So you might take that into consideration. Also, the FDA, I'm going to show you a podcast that you might want to tune into. I'm going to link it to the card, and also I'm going to review it, talk about it too, in this video. But it's the Endocrine Society, and they caution people, cancer survivors. They go through a whole podcast, and it's quite technical. You can listen to it, you don't have to watch it, and you can actually speed the volume up so it runs faster, or you might want to listen to it in some segments. But going back to plastics, I switched plastics a long time ago when I found out the BPA and what it does to hormones, what it does to weight gain, how it relates to some cancers, and the metabolic effects, because it actually, in obese people, the plastic goes into the fat cells, and a lot of times we can't get those chemicals out of our body because a lot of the fat cells can't be expelled. So we're carrying around these toxic ingredients in our fat cells, and that's a lot of times we run into health issues down the line as we age. So yeah, we got plastic in everything, in our food, in our eggs, in our water bottles, everything, right? So you can drive yourself crazy when you think about some of these things, and you think, oh my God, and you ruminate and you wind up yourself in a frenzy trying to clean up everything in your world. So you just have to do a little bit at a time. Now, way back when I had my surgery in 2012, I used to use plastic for my portion control, but now I've changed it to glass. I went back to glass, and I said, well, glass breaks and stuff like that. Well, yeah, it breaks, but I can always buy another one. So I use glass whenever I can, and I look for glass bottles of things that I buy. I try to use glass first. I shop at Aldi now, and they're pretty savvy about that. And then also on the containers, on the water bottles, you look for BPA free. Now, sometimes you really have to look for it because it will not be identified. So you have to look. There's numbers on the bottom of plastics, and you have to really research. There's numbers. Some of them are more toxic than others, which I won't go into a video about right now, maybe another later date. So I try to look for things like this. My eggs are in corrugated cardboard. Why can't we use that instead of plastics like this? You know, so instead of choosing eggs, I mean, sometimes I have to make a choice, but I'll buy them in this and then I'll transfer them into corrugated plastic. These came from Aldi, which are the organic cage-free, or they came from Giant, which I think they came from Giant, yeah, our food store. But this is what I like to buy. Of course, now that I'm unemployed and my resources and my bank account is shrinking, sometimes I can't make the best choices that I'd like to choose. But when I can, you know, like I said, if I mix something out of, you know, if I mix a drink, it's going to be in glass now. And then I look for the water bottles. Like I got this at the dollar store, and come to find out that these cheap, I can get a 6-pack of these water bottles, but it's not BPA free. So I just try to make a conscious decision about my health, because when you watch this video that I'm going to point out, and I'm going to link it to the card and some other things that I might find of interest to you, you can look at it at your leisure and look it up yourself and make your own educated decision what you want to do for you and your family. Me personally, if I had a little one, I would be really, or if I was pregnant, I really would make a conscious decision about taking plastic out of my body and really, really evaluate things that I'm ingesting in my body and try to use glass whenever possible. You know, sometimes it's not possible, but for my health and where I'm going, and for me that have had a lifetime of PCOS, of that issue, female trouble, periods and stuff like that, I question, maybe is because of the plastics that I use, the PCOS. Maybe in this video it says later in life it really affects us. In the mammary glands of women, breast cancer, and the prostate glands of men, and they're linking it to cancer. And of course the FDA, they say, no, that's not true. So, you know, you have to question the dogma. What is behind their what? What is their dogma? Is it concerning their pocketbook? That's what's usually all about. Money, right? Are they going to lose money if people are aware of choosing glass or plastic, right? So they don't want to lose money. So you can make your educated guess. Check, research it. Take some time on a Saturday afternoon. Go to the Endocrine Society. That's where I got this video. This video is less than a year old, so it's up to date. I always like to put up-to-date videos in my what I'm referencing to within the last 6 months to a year, because science is always changing. So this is from the Endocrine Society. This is this video is from I'll show it to you. This is the Endocrine Society. Is BPA safe? An Endocrine Society virtual news conference. And they talk about prostate, they talk about inflammation, the cancer risk factor, you know, and you can make your own decision. You can make your own decision whether or not you believe it or not, and whether or not you want to make some choices or make some alternative choices or elimination in your diet for your own health in the future. If you're a young person, if you're pregnant, or if you have small kids, I would seriously think about this. You know, if you're 90 years old, it really doesn't make a difference. If you're 80 years old, but me, I'm in midlife and I have some hormonal disruptions from postmenopause, it's going to make a difference. And it makes a difference to me and my health. So I'm going to make a change, and I'm going to try to change my buying practices to not include plastics and BPA as much as I can. So it goes over a lot of different things. This is from 3 months ago, and it's called the Endocrine Society. As a matter of fact, this website has a lot of very good podcasts for health issues, endocrine issues that